broadcasting sports.
Peterson takes off for a second. Now the throw is going to come to the plate. It is going to be wide, and the Governors will steal one away. The throw was wide for the pitcher in Brooks, and the Governors steal the win.
It's time for Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Governor Baseball is brought to you by Comtech, True Green Camelon, Edward Jones Financial, Overhead Doors, Todd's Electric, Shane's Pharmacy, Jaeger, AGE, First Fidelity, and the State Farm Becky Potsuba Agency.
That one is launched to left field. Charlie Simpson, a 3-run shot. It's a 4-1 lead. His first of the year.
And by Capital City Ford, Lincoln, and Toyota. Oahe Federal Credit Union. Missouri River Dentistry. Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping. Agtegra. Ferding Electric. Envirotech. And Kruger Climate Systems.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And there is your ball game. George Stallion will get the strikeout to finish off the game.
Governor Baseball is also brought to you by Stulkin Peterson LLP. Wagner Auto. The South Dakota Office of Attorney General, Division of Consumer Protection. Gales Gas. First United Methodist Church. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction. Beck Motor Company. And May Adams.
As Sun and Shine will launch this out to left field. That one's going back to the wall, and it got out, and it was a fair ball. It's a home run for Sun and Shine. A 3-run shot for Sun and Shine, his first varsity home run.
And by American Family Insurance, Brittany Scheffelbein Agency. Lamb Motors. Bank West. CHS River Plains. Faith Lutheran Church. Graham Tire. Kathy Sunshine Properties. Venture Communications. And the American of Fort Pierre.
The 1-2 from Lineback. That one taken for strike 3, and that's the ball game. 9 strikeouts for Ridge Lineback. He goes the distance, allowing just 1 run, a 2-1 win for the Pierre Governors in game number 1.
And now, Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special edition of Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Going to step aside for a brief moment for the Pledge of Allegiance. As you can tell, we are wasting no time with Pierre Governors Baseball here today. Welcome, as I said, to another special edition of Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Today, we begin to set the final stones in place for the 2025 South Dakota High School Baseball regular season. Closing weekend begins right here at Hyde Stadium as your Pierre Governors look to maintain their spot among the elite of the state, while the feisty Sioux Falls Washington Warriors are looking to play spoiler and get a couple of huge road wins in the capital city. Dylan Simmons on the call with you this evening, and welcome to a beautiful late spring day in the capital city. Feels like the middle of summer out here. We've got 85-degree temperatures right now, and that is only expected to balloon tomorrow and throughout the weekend. The only thing hotter than the weather right now just might be the Pierre Governors, who have been hitting their stride in a huge way in these late stages of the 2025 season. The Govs have won 7 of their last 8 and have been looking as good as they have all year long, but that does not mean that they can rest on their laurels. Upsets always abound in baseball, and with tournament time nearing, you never know what chaos could unfold. The Washington Warriors, meanwhile, have been trying to keep the rebuild moving in the right direction after a tough season last year, coming off a 4-22 year a year ago, or rather this year, I should say, 1-24 last year, seeing what they can do this year against the Governors. Just about set to get things going. Let's send it fieldside to take a closer look at the action here on YouTube, and we'll get everything set in store. Here we go. Governors taking on the Warriors, and there's a ground ball to third. It got past Parker O'Brien, and the leadoff man for the Warriors is on. Didn't take long for Washington to get a single here in the top half of the first inning, and that was Brecken Beitler, the shortstop, who was able to put that one right past the pitcher, Weston Northrup. Didn't even give me a chance to go through the order for the Govs and the Warriors, but certainly no time wasted for Washington. Dylan Bark now will head to the plate. The second man in the order. Pitch from Northrup is going to be bobbled by Sutton Sonnenschein, able to get back to it. Count goes to 1-0. So Brecken Beitler on the first pitch of the game getting that single. He is one of the more productive players for Washington. Off-speed pitch by Northrup. A little high. Count goes to 2-0. Weston Northrup this season with 14 innings pitched, a 3.50 earned run average, 1-0 record overall. And here's a liner right to the third baseman. O'Brien throws back to first. Not going to be able to get the double play, but a heck of an effort. That is one away in the top half of the first inning. Beitler able to quickly get back to the bag, but Dylan Bark is retired with a liner right to the third baseman. That will send on Caleb Buman, the catcher. Usually works as the first baseman for the Warriors, but working as the catcher today. And he is a left-handed batter for Washington as well, which can definitely help them out in this spot against a righty in Weston Northrup. Count goes to 1-0. Dylan Teedy currently on deck. He is the first baseman today for Sioux Falls, Washington. And that is fouled off, tipped into the glove. Count goes to 1-1. Last year, these two teams played in Sioux Falls. Pierre took one of the games, but Washington able to pull an upset in the other one. Ended up winning 10-0 against the Govs. And that was the lone win in South Dakota play for Washington last year, as there's a ground ball to first, and it gets past the first baseman, Bridger Babcock, tries to go back to first base, can't get there in time, and that's going to be 2 aboard for the Washington Warriors. So Bridger Babcock kind of bobbled that baseball for a second. It's going to be, it looks like an E1, and now 2 aboard for Washington. Caleb Buman to first, and Brecken Beitler on to second. So that'll send on Dylan Teedy for the Washington Warriors. Runners on first and second, and an E3, I should say, for Caleb Buman to get him on to first. This is a ball popped up left field. Coming after it is Leimbach, and he'll get there to make the catch. 2 away. So despite some mistakes from the Governors, they've got 2 outs here. 2 runners on base for Washington, though. With how the offense has had some issues at times, I'm sure this is a good start for the Warriors, at least compared to what they were hoping for in this game. Washington virtually knocked out of the playoff race, as the Warriors are going to send on a courtesy runner at first. That is going to be number 23 for Washington. That's Alex Newman. So courtesy runner at first. Alex Newman. Runner at second is Beitler. Runner in scoring position for Sioux Falls, Washington. And Northrup keeping a close eye at the second base bag. Off-speed pitch, chopper right back over the mound, rolls to second base, throw to first is in time. Great recovery by Carter Shufflebind to get the out at first. A 4-3 ends the top half of the first inning. A little bit of trouble for the Govs, but they make it through well enough. That'll send us to the bottom half of the first inning. You're listening to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Back in 1. Want technology solutions you can trust from a neighbor you know? Comtech, locally owned and serving Pierre and surrounding area since 2009, is dedicated to keeping your home, farm, and business connected and secure. We offer a full range of services, from audio and video, security, surveillance, and networking with expert installation and support. Visit our storefront, call us at 605-224-4066, or visit our website, comtechplus.com, to experience the Comtech difference. Comtech, your local technology experts.
Hey, yo, Speedo's Lawn Care.
Hello. Say, my yard's in rough shape. It's got weeds, brown spots, and crabgrass.
No problemo. What shade of green you need? We got 31 shades of green over here. Even the latest shade of septic tank grass green. That one just naturally gives off a glow.
Call the professionals at True Green. They know how to get your lawn healthy and keep it healthy. They guarantee it. All technicians are trained and certified.
Call True Green, 224-1916.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons with you today. A beautiful day here in the capital city as your Pierre Governors Baseball team gets set for their first bit of offensive production. They will be facing off against a pitcher in Sam Sanders as he makes his way to the mound. For the Governors' batting order today, it's Carter Shufflebine, at second base. George Stalley at center field. Dawson Getz is the shortstop. Ridge Linebaugh left fielder. Cooper Terwilliger is the DH. Sutton Sonnenschein the catcher. Charlie Simpson in right field. Bridger Babcock the first baseman. And Parker O'Brien is at third base for the Governors in his usual spot. Leading off will be Carter Shufflebine with our Brittany Shufflebine American Family Insurance scoreboard. Want to thank Brittany for sponsoring our scoreboard as always. And now our son Carter to the plate, looking to give the Governors their first hit of the game. And he's been very good at hitting the baseball this year, and he just almost got a hit for the Governors right there. Lined one right to the center fielder, Caden Sporer. Heck of an effort, but that's one away. But as I was just getting ready to say, he does a great job of getting off to fast starts and getting consistent hits. Shufflebine with 15 total on the year. That's tied for the team lead with Ridge Linebaugh. George Stalley now to the plate. Center fielder for the Govs. Watches one come in high, and the count goes to 1-0. George Stalley with 7 runs scored on the season. 2 RBIs to go along with that. And he's one of those players that's only getting better as time goes on. Off-speed pitch comes in for a strike. Count goes to 1-1. Do want to make a correction that we had in the top of the first. Brecken Beitler ended up getting to first on an error. It was Caleb Buman who got the single for the Warriors as that one's fouled back. Count goes to 1-2. So just wanted to issue a correction on that. But either way, it was 4 batters up and retired for the Washington Warriors in the top of the first. Sam Sanders with a 1-2 count right here. And a swing and a miss by Stalley. He is retired on strikes. That is the first K of the game, and it goes to Sam Sanders. 2 away here in the bottom of the first. And this is exactly what Washington wanted to do in this game. Establish a tempo, establish a rhythm, not allow Pierre to really get into a zone offensively, which when they get in that place of mind, in that rhythm, they become a very hard team to handle. There's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Sam Sanders, one of the better pitchers that Washington has at their disposal, but the Warriors defense has struggled this season. They've given up 10-plus runs 12 times this year as the count evens at 1-1. And obviously that weighs heavy on the minds of the Warriors pitchers, the coaching staff, and the defense itself. You can not allow that to happen against Pierre, especially with their pitching. As that pitch comes in low, it's in the dirt. Count goes to 2-1 with 2 down. It is Dawson Getz who's at the plate for the Governors. Shortstop who's had a tremendous season already. 10 RBIs, 10 runs. And he sends a ball into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And Dawson Getz has the first hit for the Govs today. It is a 2-out single in the bottom half of the first inning. You can always rely on Dawson Getz to at least give you a shot of getting on base, and that's exactly what he just did. Ridge Linebaugh, the cleanup man, comes into the plate as Getz has hit number 15 on the season. Now a three-way tie for the team lead in hits for the Govs. Leinbach at the plate, chopper left side, and that bounces off the shortstop, and that's going to be another base hit for the Govs. Gets coming around third. Here's the throw. He slides in safe, and all the way to second is Ridge Leinbach. What a nice turn for the Governors. They're going to officially rule that as an error, it looks like. So it will be an error that puts Ridge Leinbach on base, but regardless, he's able to capitalize on the opportunity, and the Governors now have 2 runners on base, both of them in scoring position. So it's an E6 on Brecken Beitler, the shortstop. Did what he could in that situation to handle the baseball, but didn't handle it well enough. And now Cooper Terwilliger, the man with the best batting average on the Governors, is at the plate. Count goes to 1-0. Terwilliger with a .471 average and 7 RBIs. Yes, those are real stats. And he sends a liner into left field for a base hit. This is going to score 1 run, make it 2 runs as the ball gets away from Jack Jacobson. It is a 2-out, 2 RBI single for Cooper Terwilliger. And what a late stretch of the season he's having. He just continues to light up defenses. That is exactly why they have him in the order, because he can do stuff just like that. 2-0 Govs, and Cooper Terwilliger stepping up in a huge way. For Terwilliger, that is going to be RBI number 8 and 9 on the season. That will send on Sutton Sunshine, who's working as the catcher today. Lets this pitch go by. Count goes to 0-1. Jack Jacobson couldn't handle the baseball cleanly in left field. Another example of the defensive inadequacies at times for the Warriors coming to roost. Pitch is high. Sunshine lets it go by. Count goes to 1-1 with 2 away. And that, again, is the kind of hitting that the Governors have been known for this season. When you have 2 outs, when you're in that position where you've got to capitalize in a hurry, the Governors, more often than not, have been able to do that. They don't strand a lot of runners on base, and it's been one of their strengths. At points, though, it's been just getting people on base in general that has been the issue. Pitch is high. Count goes to 3-1. Sutton Sunshine with a .289 average on the year, 8 ribbies, 9 runs, and 13 total hits. He also has one of the 2 home runs scored by the Governors this season. If you're curious, Cooper Terwilliger is the other. That pitch is low for ball number 4, and the Governors now have 2 runners on base. Terwilliger on to second, and Sutton Sunshine on to first with a walk. Charlie Simpson, the right fielder, makes his way to the plate. So it was looking like a promising start for the Warriors in this bottom half of the first, has somewhat careened out of control. Governors with 2 runs, 2 hits, and now 2 runners on base once again with Simpson at the plate. Lets this pitch, or actually, no, there was no pitch. I was looking away at the scoreboard and was distracted, so just ignore what I said, folks. 2 outs, runners on base at first and second, and there's a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Charlie Simpson, right fielder for the Govs with a .184 average on the season, 6 RBIs, 4 total runs scored. And that pitch is low. It bounces off the mask of the catcher, Caleb Buman, and he has to quickly retrieve the ball. Count goes to 1-1. Did a good job just to make sure it didn't go by him. Governors in their all-black uniforms today. It's become a signature look of the season, and they've won a lot in those uniforms. They do look nice. Swing and a miss. Governors channeling the Intimidator Dale Earnhardt Sr., one of my favorite all-time NASCAR drivers. And I wasn't even alive to see him when he was here. I was born in 03, so that shows the respect that he can garner across eras. Here's a liner that gets into center field for a base hit. This could score another run as the ball is bobbled by the center fielder Sporer. Coming around is Terwilliger. He scores, and the Governors are on top 3-0. What a great swing by Charlie Simpson. He delivers once again, the 3rd hit for the Governors and the 7th RBI of the year for the right fielder. And boy, oh boy, are the Governors feeling it early on here at home. Advancing to third and all that, by the way, was Sutton Sunshine. So now the Governors with runners in the corners, a 3-0 lead and 2 outs. Man at the plate is Bridger Babcock, swings and misses at this pitch as the count goes to 0-1. We thought this may be a quick bottom half of the first inning, but boy, things have quickly changed. And that one is going to be sent towards right. Foul ball. Count goes to 0-2 with 2 away. If you wanted a great start for the Governors, this is absolutely what they were looking for. They have found a pulse early on. Governors came in hitting at 222 as a team. And Babcock with a softly hit ball in the infield. Caught by the shortstop Beitler, and that will do it for a very successful bottom of the first. Governors on top 3-0 over the Sioux Falls Washington Warriors. A 2 RBI swing for Cooper Twilliger and an RBI for Charlie Simpson. We'll be back for the top of the second in just a moment. You're listening to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Back in 1 minute.
When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at envirotechwaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881. Welcome back to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons on the call with you here at the beautiful Hyde Stadium. We've made it to the top half of the second inning. Ground ball to third as we just rejoin. O'Brien bobbles it, throws to first. It goes over the head of Bridger Babcock, and the leadoff batter, Tommy Peterson, is going to roll his way to second base. So we had just gotten back, and the Warriors waste no time going right to work. They've got a runner at second just like that on what's going to be an E3, it looks like, for the Governors. They're going to call an E5, actually, on that throw from Parker O'Brien at third, going over the head of the first baseman for the Govs. So Tommy Peterson now on to second on that wild sequence of events. And now a new man at the plate for the Warriors. It is Tyler Ringheimer, the third baseman. Chopper right back up the middle, picked up by Shufflebein, throws to first for out one. Advancing to third in that was Tommy Peterson, working as the right fielder. And this is exactly the kind of response that Washington was looking for in this top half of the second after being blitzed by Pierre in the bottom half of the first. So Ringheimer quickly retired with a 4-3. That sends on, Cash Mowat. The DH, he sends a chopper right to the shortstop gets. He throws to first to get the easy out, but a run does score for Sioux Falls, Washington, as coming home in that was Tommy Peterson. So 3-1, Pierre on top of Sioux Falls, Washington, but the Warriors do get a much-needed run. Jacobson with the RBI. That will send, or rather Mowat with the RBI. That sends on Jacobson. I wrote them down wrong in my lineup card, so that's why I've got Mowat batting after Jacobson for some reason, but Jacobson is indeed the one at the plate right now. Number 9 man in the order, working as the left fielder. And a quick response by Sioux Falls, Washington thus far in this top half of the second. Ground ball to Parker O'Brien, and he will get some redemption with that throw to Bridger Babcock to retire this side. We're on to the bottom half of the second. The Warriors put a run on the board courtesy of an RBI from Cash Mowat, That'll send us on to the bottom half of the second. Governors on top 3-1. You're listening to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebine Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons with you on this Friday evening. A beautiful Friday evening in the capital city. Parker O'Brien, the number 9 man in the order, will get his first at-bat of the game for the Governors in this bottom half of the second. He will be followed by Carter Shufflebine and George Stalley, 9-1-2, due up in the order. Haven't had a chance to go over the defenses yet for either team. We'll try to fit that in here in this bottom half of the second. Off-speed pitch by Sam Sanders is out of the zone. Count goes to 1-0. Tyler Ringheimer at third, Brecken Beitler at short, Dylan Bark at second, Dylan Teedy at first, Tommy Peterson in right field, Caden Sporer in center field, Jack Jacobson in left field. Caleb Buman is the catcher. That pitch over the head of the catcher Buman. Count goes to 2-0. That's the defense for Sioux Falls, Washington. For Pierre, it's Ridge Linebach in left, George Stalley in center, Charlie Simpson in right, Parker O'Brien at third, Dawson Getz at short, Carter Shufflebine at second, Bridger Babcock at first, Sutton Sonnenschein the catcher, and Weston Northrup on the mound, as that's now 2 straight pitches by Sam Sanders that have gone way over the catcher's head. And just like that, the count's 3-0. Parker O'Brien has a great opportunity to get on base with a leadoff walk. 3 straight balls from Sanders. Can he get it under control? He does not. Puts it wide, and that's now a 4-0 count that will send O'Brien on to first with a leadoff walk. 4-pitch walk generated by O'Brien, and we go back to the top of the order. That means Carter Shufflebine lined one out to center field his first time up. We'll see if he can get that ball to have a little more velocity in this at-bat. Again, Governors on top 3-1 if you're just joining us. And another high pitch by Sanders. Seems to be having issues kind of getting that zone under control early on. Governors with a .222 team batting average, .324 on-base percentage, .618 OPS. Another high pitch, count goes to 2-0. And 68 RBIs on the season. This Governors team winning 7 of their last 8 games. They've been one of the hottest teams in the state of South Dakota, but you got to keep that going. Here's a ball driven into right and immediately caught by Tommy Peterson. Retreating back to the first base bag is O'Brien. So Shufflebine has now lined one out to center and lined one out to right.
The center fielder, number 4, George Stalley.
George Stalley, the next man up, with one away here in the bottom half of the second. Stalley struck out swinging his first time up, the lone strikeout of this game. Haven't been a lot of strikeouts on either side. It's been getting outs with the defense as that pitch is high. Count goes to 1-0. Again, this is just one of 2 games here this evening. These 2 teams will play another 7-inning game immediately after the conclusion of this one. And then the Governors will be right back here tomorrow to wrap up the regular season against Sioux Falls Lincoln starting at 1 o'clock. This ball popped up into foul ground, and it's going to land somewhere in the crowd. I think it bounced off of a bush. And the count will go to 1-1. Parker O'Brien minding his own business at first right now, and he's been a solid base runner for the Governors this year. Has scored 7 total runs, an even .200 batting average, and that didn't change after generating that walk. Stalley sends a fly ball into right center field. Ranging for it is Sporer, and he makes the catch. That's now 2 away here in the bottom half of the second. And again, Stalley comes up empty. Well hit ball, but just couldn't get enough of it. Needed probably about 20 more feet to get the homer, but it certainly had a lot of distance on it and a lot of air. That'll send on Dawson Getz. He got a single his first time up, the first hit of the game for the Governors. Shortstop looking to make it 2 for 2. Pitches outside, count is 1-0. And the big question for Washington is, can they withstand that opening salvo by the Govs? We saw what they did in the bottom half of the first inning. Washington able to get a run in the top half of the second, as that's a swing and a miss. And now the question is, can they restrain the Governors' offense enough in this bottom half of the second to keep themselves within striking distance? That's what Sam Sanders is going to have to try to do. That ball fouled right into the Hyde Stadium cage. Count goes to 1-2 for Getz. Senior for the Governors this year, 15 hits on the season, 10 RBIs, and now 11 runs total. He had 58 at-bats last season with a 172 average. Didn't have a single extra base hit a year ago. Boy, has that changed. This ball is going to be fouled and, almost caught by the first baseman, Dylan Teedy. Just couldn't catch up with it. And O'Brien was ready to go to second base. He was already taking off, but no dice. Foul ball brings everything back. Governors won last year in Sioux Falls against Washington by a score of 13-8 in some wild weather. Rather, won last year by a score of 13-1. But lost the other game 10-0, and I'm sure that's been a sticking point. O'Brien's going. Here's a fly ball into right field, and this one will be caught easily by Tommy Peterson. That will retire this side and send us to the top half of the third inning. Governors on top 3-1 over Sioux Falls, Washington. Now we'll see what the Warriors have offensively to try to match up with the Govs. We'll be back in 1 minute right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons on the call. Our scoreboard on YouTube is courtesy of the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine Agency. Warriors at the plate to start things off against Weston Northrop and Company. Northrop fires in a strike. Count goes to 0-1. This is Jack Jacobson at the plate for the Warriors to start things off. That pitch comes in low. Count goes to 1-1. Northrop thus far yet to throw a strikeout. Trying to change that right here. And that ball is going to be fouled. This count goes to 1-2. That's actually Brecken Beitler at the plate. My apologies. Wrote that down wrong in my book. So Beitler's at the plate. He got on an E3 his first time up. So 1, 2, 3 due up in the order. And Beitler drives one into center field for a base hit past the glove of Dawson Getz. So Brecken Beitler on for the second straight time. He's got a leadoff single here in the top of the third. And again, that is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Washington Warriors. That'll send on Dylan Bark, who lined one out to third his first time up. That was a well-hit ball bouncing into center field. Getz tried to make a play on it, but couldn't catch up to it in time. So run number 2 for the Warriors is at first base. Here's a bunt laid down by Bark, picked up by Northrop, thrown on to first, and Babcock has to haul it in high, but gets it for out 1. Bunt does its job, though, and advances Brecken Beitler on to second. So Barkus quickly retired. That will send on Caleb Buman, who got on with a single his last time up. Thought initially it could be an E3 or E5, but ruled as a single. Left-handed batter in the order, and he'll swing and miss at this one. Counts 0-1. Governors with 3 hits in this game, 2 for Sioux Falls, Washington, both teams with a couple errors. From that end, it's been, for lack of a better term, a little bit sloppier, but you're still watching some high quality and high level baseball, folks, or listening, depending on whether it's radio or YouTube. Counts 0-2. That's the great thing about our broadcast, is that you have a couple different ways to listen or watch, and we love being able to provide that for you. 0-2 count for Northrop. Runner goes. Here's the throw to third. It is high. It gets away from O'Brien, and a run's going to come in for Sioux Falls, Washington. Coming home is Brecken Beitler. He cashes in on the single as the Governors commit a couple of errors, it looks like, at least one in the outfield, that allows Washington to come in with a run. So Beitler home, and the score is now 3-2. Beitler kind of tempted them on that throw, and now Governors having a meeting on the mound as coaching staff wanted to talk things over for a brief second, try to get the defense back online. So the count is now 1-2 as Brecken Beitler was able to really tempt the Govs into that and ended up working out. Score 3-2. As that pitch is low and it gets past Sutton Sunshine, count's going to go to 2-2. So the Governors were on top 3-0 after the first inning, but Washington now with 2 unanswered runs and a chance to maybe get more before this third inning's over. Foul ball by Caleb Buman. Count stays at 2-2. Washington's next game, or games I should say, will be Monday against Sioux Falls Lincoln. So for both of these teams, their next opponent is the Lincoln Patriots, as odd as that is to say. And a swing and a miss. The first strikeout of the game for Weston Northrop is going to go against Caleb Buman. Strikes him out swinging. That is out number 2 here in the top of the third. Dylan Teedy, the next man up. He grounded one out to second his last time up. He'll be followed by Caden Sporer, but the question is, will Sporer get a chance in this top of the third? Off-speed pitch is going to be lined into left field for a base hit. So a single for Dylan Teedy on a ground ball through the left side, and a runner back aboard for Sioux Falls, Washington. The tying run is on base, as that will send on Caden Sporer, so he will indeed get his chance with 2 outs and the tying run at first base. Sporer ground ball, and it gets by the first baseman, Bridger Babcock. What a hit that was. Going on to third now is Teedy. He stops at third base. All the way to second is Caden Sporer with an incredible 2-out double. That was right in the perfect spot where Babcock really couldn't catch up to it in time. It was barely fair, and it works out beautifully for Washington. The tying run is now in the hot corner as Caden Sporer is at second. Tommy Peterson now to the plate after the Sporer double. Peterson did reach his last time up on an E5. Count goes to 1-0. Governors now with 3 errors. The defense just hasn't been as sharp today as they usually are, and it's costing the Govs. Ground ball, left side. Getz is able to scoop it up, throws on to first. Can he make it in time? He can. It got away from Babcock, and 2 runs are going to score for the Warriors. Sioux Falls, Washington has improbably taken the lead, and that's going to be a 4th error on the Governors in this game. What a wild turn of events, and again, just uncharacteristic mistakes for the Governors. That's going to be an E5, I believe, on Parker O'Brien, as the ball went right up and over Bridger Babcock. Really, it's been the men in the corners who have had the most issue today. And now the Governors find themselves trailing as the count goes to 0-1. Tyler Ringheimer, the man at the plate. Peterson reaching on that error by the Governors. Ringheimer now trying to get on base himself, but this has just become a very odd turn of events, and this is going to be lined into right center field for a base hit. Sioux Falls, Washington has come alive, and they are showing some dynamite. Ringheimer with a single, and on to third is Tommy Peterson. That is 6 hits now for Sioux Falls, Washington through the first not even the first 3 innings. We haven't even gotten that far yet. My gracious. It's like an avalanche that once it starts, you just can't stop it. So now it's Cash Mowat who comes to the plate. Runners in the corners for Sioux Falls, Washington, as this game is completely turned. And right now, Weston Northrup and the Governors defense have got to find a way to get things under control. Here's the throw back to third on the double steal attempt. And the Governors not able to take care of that in time. So moving on to second in that chaos was Tyler Ringheimer. So the double steal works to perfection by Sioux Falls, Washington. And again, the Governors, in a way, caught napping. Count goes to 1-1. The base running has been superb for the Warriors in this game. Mowat with a bloop shot right field, and the catch is made by Simpson to mercifully put the top of the third to an end for the Governors. But what a third inning it's been for Sioux Falls, Washington. They put 3 runs on the scoreboard, mostly of the Governors doing. A bevy of errors, now 4 total for the Govs, and Pierre has to go back to the drawing board in the bottom half of the third. We'll be back in 1 minute right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Don't touch that dial, folks.
Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play. Welcome back. This is Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Yours truly, Dylan Simmons, on the call with you. And it was an ugly top of the third for the Pierre Governors defensively. A couple errors and 3 runs allowed to Sioux Falls, Washington. And now the Govs have got to find a way to tie this game. Ridge Leimbach is at the plate, reached on an E6 his first time up. New pitcher on the mound for Sioux Falls, Washington. It's Tommy Boyum. Count goes to 1-0. Boyum, in his most recent pitching performance, went 2 innings pitched against Mitchell in game number 1 Tuesday night with 6 earned runs and 1 strikeout. So he has plenty of experience. Count goes to 2-0. Had 5 2/3 innings pitched and 5 strikeouts against Watertown on April 25th, but he's not going to be able to get away from a Ridge Leimbach single. So Leimbach is on for the second time in this game with his first hit of the game. That is hit number 16 to give Ridge Leimbach the unquestioned team lead for the Governors this season. And here comes the magic man, Cooper Terwilliger. He's already got 2 ribbies in this game, and you just know he'd love to add a 3rd and 4th. And that comes in for a strike. Sioux Falls, Washington, 4-22 overall on the season, 4-20 in South Dakota play. So win or loss, Pierre is likely going to lose some ground as far as seed points are concerned, but most importantly, they want to get a win. That's what the Governors want to do, and he'll take a win any way you can get it. Counts 0-2 for Terwilliger. Got a single his first time up. 0-2 count. Runner at first, and that pitch comes in wide. Good take by Terwilliger. Count is 1-2. 10 combined hits in this game. 6 for Washington, 4 for Pierre. Last year, the Warriors with a negative 180 run differential, and that's somewhat continued this season with the blowouts they've suffered, but right now, this is not one of them. High pitch, count is 2-2, just above the zone. Gutsy take by Terwilliger, but it pays off. Govs trying to get win number 14 in South Dakota play and win number 15 overall, but they're down 4-3 to the Warriors. 2-2 count, no outs for Terwilliger. Throw back to first is not going to be in time to take care of Ridge Leimbach, who made sure to quickly get back to the bag. We've seen a lot of pickoff attempts by both teams today, and sometimes they've worked, sometimes they've really backfired. Off-speed pitch, and again it's wide, and the count's 3-2, so Cooper Terwilliger has done a great job to navigate this at-bat from an 0-2 to a 3-2. Now we'll see if he can get on base and join his friend Ridge Leimbach, excuse me. Tongue twisters today. Payoff pitch, 3-2, and that one is low and wide, and that is going to be a walk for the Governors. So Cooper Terwilliger maneuvers his way to first, and now the Governors with 2 men aboard and no outs. Great work by Terwilliger. Took that from an 0-2 to 4 straight balls, and now finds himself at first. Catcher and pitcher having a conversation as Boyum and Buman are talking things over. Boyum has also played in the outfield this season, so he can play at a variety of positions when called upon. Sutton Sonnenschein to the plate, much like Terwilliger. He generated a walk his first time up. Sonnenschein leads the team in walks forced this season, and he'd love to get a second one in this game. That pitch is wide. Runners thought about going. Count goes to 1-0. They got off the bag momentarily. I think they were keeping an eye on if Buman was going to be able to bring that in. He did just barely. Really starting to feel some of that hot air here in the capital city right now. Bunts being shown by Sonnenschein. He's going to lay it down. It's picked up. It's not picked up by Boyum. He bobbles it. Throw to first is not going to be in time. That's going to be an E1 on Tommy Boyum that sends Sutton Sonnenschein on to first base, and the Governors have the bases loaded. So more sloppy play, this time by Washington, and now the Governors with a chance to capitalize. Charlie Simpson will come to the plate after the error by Washington, their third of the game. 7 combined between these two squads. Fastball comes in for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Charlie Simpson got an RBI single in his last at-bat, and he could get a couple more, maybe even 3 more with a good shot right here. Curveball comes in for a strike. Nicely done by Boyum. Counts 0-2. Governors have gotten 1 hit from Leimbach in this inning. Otherwise, it's been a walk and an error. So they've done it in a variety of ways in this frame. That pitch just outside the zone. Counts 1-2. Shaping up to be a high-scoring game between the Govs and the Warriors. A little bit of a shootout here at Hyde Stadium. And this is going to be a liner into left field for a base hit. 1 run comes home. Here comes the second, and it's going to get there as well. Governors on top 5-4 with a 2 RBI single from Charlie Simpson. The right fielder comes up clutch again. This guy's dropping more hits than Taylor Swift. 5-4, Governors lead. Simpson on to first. Man at second for the Govs as well. Sutton Sonnenschein, and Pierre is exactly where they want to be now. Bridger Babcock will head to the plate. Popped one up to shortstop his last time up. Coming home to score on that play was Leimbach and Terwilliger. And now the Governors have, just like that, retaken the lead. Here's a throwback to second. Shortstop Beitler was unable to take out Sutton Sonnenschein. All kinds of action all over the diamond. It's hard to keep up with it all. 9 combined runs between these two teams in the first 3 innings. 3 total RBIs for Charlie Simpson as a bunt was attempted to be laid down by a Bridger Babcock, but ended up landing in foul territory. Governor's offense has had their stretches this year. They've also had moments where they faltered a bit. If you'll recall back to that Brandon Valley series last Saturday, Governor's had issues scoring in that doubleheader. Got one run, and that was all they needed in the first game, but got shut out in the second game. They want to make sure that doesn't happen again, and it hasn't. Babcock tries the bunt again, but no triple B this time. That's a Bridger-Babcock bunt. Count goes to 0-2. That's what BBB stands for, in case you were wondering, not Better Business Bureau. Term I just made up. Count 0-2. 5 hits for the Govs now in this game. Can Babcock even it at 6? Runners at second and first. Pitch by Boyum. And the fastball finds its mark for strike number 3, and that is out number 1 in this bottom half of the third. So Babcock is retired, got caught looking. That will send on Parker O'Brien. And O'Brien in his last at-bat lined one out to first base, or rather center field. One away, runners at first and second for the Govs. That pitch is high, count goes to 1-0. Parker O'Brien trying to find his way to the plate, or to the bag, I should say. Whichever bag that is, first, second, or third. Don't have to be specific. 1-0 count. Pitch by Boyum is low, and the count goes to 2-0. Caleb Buman has done a great job in this game at keeping the ball in front of him to some degree. Hasn't always been easy, but he's been able to find a way. And right now, in this close of an affair, that's what you need. 2-0 pitch on the way from Boyum, 1 out. Warriors would love a potential double play ground out right here. Governor's acutely aware of that. All of a sudden, the count 3-0, and Boyum's in danger of yet another walk in this frame. Already issued one to Terwilliger, and we could see a second one here in the bottom half of the third. Boyum's got to be careful. And that's ball 4. Almost made contact with O'Brien, and he'll make his way to first base. And for the second time in this frame, the bases are loaded for the Governors. O'Brien on to first, and we go back to the top of the order, and that means Carter Shufflebine. And Shufflebine still looking to find a little bit of magic in this game. He's lined out twice in this one, lined out to center and lined out to right. But he's had deep shots both times. Maybe this is the one that really gets where it needs to go. Pitch is high, count goes to 1-0. If he can get a little bit more of a handle on the baseball, he may be able to send one careening over the wall. We'll find that out shortly. Looking to add another extra base hit to the catalog. Fastball's in, count goes to 1-1. Shufflebine thought that one was going to be a little high. It was not. The 1-1, off speed and outside. Now a 2-1. Governors in their first season with head coach Scott Rowie. He's done a great job of re-energizing this team and placing them where they need to be, and that's in the thick of the state championship hunt. This is gonna be a line shot into left center field. It'll roll all the way to the wall. This is gonna score 3 runs for the Governors, and not stopping is Shufflebine. He's got a 3-run triple. This guy's talent is so bright, you gotta wear Oakleys to see him clearly. Governors on top 8-4, and that was the game-changing swing that Carter Shufflebine was looking for. What a turn for the Govs, and for Washington, a game that was really in the balance of either side has now completely gone awry from them, as there's going to be a meeting on the mound for the Warriors. At the top half of this third inning, entering the bottom half of the third inning, the Governors were down 4-3. They have now scored 5 runs in this bottom half of the third to completely turn things around. And the men responsible for that, Charlie Simpson and Carter Shufflebine. Simpson with 2 RBIs and Shufflebine with 3 RBIs in this frame alone. Shufflebine had that 2-run single and now, or rather that 3-run triple. It was Simpson who had the 2-run single. And now the Governors with a runner 90 feet away from home plate in Shufflebine. Stalley to the plate. Count goes to 1-0 and still only 1 out. So we were talking about a shootout, and it may still turn into that, but now the Governors have doubled up the score that the Warriors have put on the scoreboard. Stalley fouls this one directly into the cage. Count goes to 1-1. You've got to admire the response of the Governors in this first game. I mean, after what happened in that top of the third, it would have been easy to kind of just crawl into a corner, so to speak. They have done the furthest thing from that. This is a fly ball into center field. Back is Spohr. He makes the catch. Coming home is Shufflebine. He'll score. And George Stalley adds an RBI to the catalog. Governors go on top 9-4 on a fly out for Stalley. That's 2 away now in the bottom half of the third. Governors now with a 5-run advantage. George Stalley retired on that fly out to center. That will send on Dawson Getz. Getz lets this one go in high. Count goes to 1-0. Getz did get a single in his first at-bat. Has scored 1 run in this game. Flew out to right in his last time up. Fastball high again. Counts 2-0. 2-0 for Dawson Getz, who this season has just been sensational. He wants to join his offense in adding more runs to the scoreboard. He had a 2 RBI single versus Mitchell not that long ago. Total 3 RBI day. Fouls this one into the cage and it clangs off the roofing. Count goes to 2-2. Getz working as the shortstop. Had 10 RBIs and 10 runs entering this game. Now it's at 11 runs, but still at 10 RBIs. Let's see if Getz can change that. Pitch by Boyum is going to be sent into left center field. Can I interest you in another base hit? Dawson Getz says, let me join the party. Getz now with 2 singles, and the Governors with yet another man aboard. And the party continues for Pierre. That will send on Ridge Leimbach, who got a single his last time up, and this is becoming a nightmare inning for Tommy Boyum. Came in relief of Sam Sanders, and things have unraveled. This is the Governors hitting that we were hoping to see in this game. It took a second for it to really come alive, but it has done so in a massive way. A 6-run bottom of the third, and now 7 total hits for the Govs. Fastball is going to be grounded right too short on an odd hop. Able to collect it as Beitler for a nice out. And that will send us to the top of the fourth. But my goodness, the Governors' offense is feeling it. 6 runs in the bottom half of the third inning, highlighted by a 3-run triple from Carter Shufflebine. And the Govs are rolling it home. We'll be back in 1 minute right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not to mention it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Potsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. We've reached the top half of the fourth inning. Your scoreboard courtesy of the American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffle Buying Agency. And that scoreboard has been lit up quite a bit in this game so far. 13 combined runs between the Govs and the Warriors, 9 of those coming from Pierre, 6 of those in the bottom half of the third alone. Weston Northrup still on the mound. Count going to 1-0. He's taking on Jack Jacobson, the left fielder in this game. Number 9 man in the order, grounds one to third. It gets past O'Brien. Yet another error for the Govs. That's going to be an E5 and a leadoff runner aboard for Sioux Falls, Washington. That is error number 5 for the Governors, and my gracious, it just continues. They've had issues all game long with that. And now a runner at first in Jack Jacobson. Go back to the top of the order now with Brecken Beitler, who's already got one single in this game. Also got on with an E3 earlier on. Here's a softly hit ball rolling to first base. Northrup is there, gets it to Babcock for out 1. Apologize, I put the P logo up instead of the field of play on that one. So sorry for the folks on YouTube. That is 1 away. Runner to second now for Sioux Falls, Washington is Jack Jacobson. That will send on Dylan Bark. So it kind of amounted to a swinging bunt for Beitler. Bark will ground one into left field for a base hit. Coming around to third and stopping will be Jacobson, and that's a single for Dylan Bark. So despite the deficit, the hitting is not stopped for the Warriors. So now we'll get a new man at the plate. Caleb Buman makes his way on, the number 3 man in the order. Runners at first and third for the Warriors. And this is where the Governors have got to clamp down and not allow Washington to get back in this game. Seemed like this one was at hand, but that is quickly changing. Count goes to 0-1. Buman struck out swinging his last time up. It's the lone K for Weston Northrup so far. And right now, this infield has just got to execute. That's the biggest thing they've got to do. Here's a chopper right over the mound to second. Throw to first is going to be in time to get an out, but a run does score for Sioux Falls, Washington. Coming home in that exchange was Jack Jacobson. Man retired at first is Buman, and a runner at second for the Warriors. So now 2 down in this top half of the fourth inning. And the man at the plate will be Dylan Teedy. He does have a single in this game. Grounded out to second in his other at-bat. Count goes to 0-1. Good strike from Northrup. Buman able to get that last RBI for Washington. And now Teedy trying to join the club with a runner at second, and he will chop this one foul. Count's going to go to 0-2. Teedy, the first baseman for the Warriors today, had 2 hits versus Aberdeen back on May the 3rd this month. 3 RBIs in that game. Had a hit versus Jefferson last night, went 1 for 3 overall. And that's one other dimension to consider in this game. Pierre's on 3 days rest. Washington had to play last night, albeit in just 1 game against the Cavaliers. Count goes to 1-2. Conversely, though, Washington gets a couple days off before they have to play Lincoln on Monday. So it goes both ways in that sense. 1-2 pitch and 2 outs. Here's a high chopper. It goes right to Shufflebein. He throws to first, and that is out 3. A nice 4-3 for the Govs, but the Warriors do put a run on the scoreboard, Caleb Buman with the RBI. It is a 4-run game here in the capital city, and the red-hot Governors offense has a chance to add to the lead when we come back in 1 minute right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
Welcome back to Hyde Stadium. Dylan Simmons on the call. This is Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Your scoreboard courtesy of American Family Insurance, the Brittany Shufflebine Agency. Call the number 605-224-6627. Governors with a new man at the plate. It is Cooper Terwilliger to lead things off. The number 5 man in the order, already with 2 RBIs in this game. Best batting average on the team overall. Currently sitting at a very impressive 471. He gets his first crack at Tommy Boyum. He'll pop this one up. It's fouled. No play on it from the Warriors. Count goes to 0-1. Terwilliger got a single his first time up, walked his second time. Facing the 0-1 pitch. Boyum's fastball is grounded right to short. Picked up by Beitler. Gets it on to first for out 1. 6-3 put away for Sioux Falls, Washington. Sunshine will make his way to the plate. Sunshine has reached twice, neither time on a hit. His first at-bat resulted in a walk. His second was an E1 by the pitcher. That was Boyum. Curveball's high here. Count goes to 1-0. The Warriors right now, their main objective is just to make sure Pierre does not add to this lead. Even though it's already the 4th inning, you feel like to some degree, if you're Washington, with the way you've been scoring, if you can just hold Pierre off for a couple frames here, you've got a chance to at least bite into this lead and maybe forge some kind of comeback. But again, that's a lot to assume, especially if the Governor's defense gets some things right. 2-0 pitch and a high foul ball. It's going to land somewhere near the bridge, right near this stadium. Count goes to 2-1. A lot of cars parked out that way too, so glad it didn't land in any glass. My Jeep's parked on the other direction, so I'm hoping that it doesn't get smashed up. Just got my plates yesterday, as a matter of fact. Shout out to the Hughes County office for that one. Count is 3-1. A lot of big stuff happening in the capital city this weekend. Obviously, it is Mother's Day weekend, so naturally there's going to be a lot of events. 3-1 pitch on the way, and that is going to be a fair ball. What a shot by Sutton Sunshine. It went right over the bag, and he's got a 1-out single in the bottom half of the 4th inning. I mean, you could not have placed that one any better than what Sutton Sunshine just did, and he has his much-awaited first hit of the game. Charlie Simpson heads to the plate, courtesy runner on for the Governors, as Aiden Johnson is at first base. Charlie Simpson is now at the plate, 2 singles in this game, 3 RBIs total. You could argue he's been the MVP so far. Throw back to first. Johnson's speed able to bail him out. Governors with 8 total hits in this game now, 15 combined between these two teams. 1 away here in this bottom half of the 4th. Boyum trying to limit the production. Here goes Johnson. Throw to second, and the ball almost got into the outfield. Johnson able to get to second base cleanly. Stolen bag, and Brecken Beitler did a great job just to recover on that play. Make sure that ball didn't go any further off. And Aiden Johnson gets in that dirt, gets it all over his uni. But it's a good look when you're able to take a base. Always is. Count is 1-0 for Simpson. Here's a ball softly lifted into left center, and Beitler able to backtrack and make the catch. 2 down.
The first baseman, number 15, Bridger Babcock.
Bridger Babcock will be the next man up, and he is another player who's had a pretty good game, although he has had his struggles offensively. Popped one up to short and then struck out looking in his first 2 chances at the plate. So hasn't managed his first hit yet. And that is going to change as that bounces off of the first baseman, Titi. Coming around for the Governors, and scoring will be Johnson. And Bridger Babcock can add an RBI to the Governors' total. It is a 10-5 Pierre lead as Bridger Babcock comes through. It is going to be ruled as a 2-out RBI single. It bounced off of the first baseman, Titi. He wasn't able to collect it, and the Governors able to capitalize.
That hit brings up the third baseman, number 24, Parker O'Brien.
Parker O'Brien will be the next man up for the Governors. He's got a walk in his last at-bat. They may call that a double on that last play. So I want to make sure to correct that for Babcock. Either way, he's got an RBI. Score is 10-5 Governors. Count is 1-0. And they do have Parker O'Brien at the plate with a courtesy runner on. That is Will Danberg, it looks like. And that pitch is wide. Count goes, or rather in for a strike. Count is 1-1. Or it is still Bridger, my apologies. Didn't see the 1 on his uniform. Had to look away for a second, so apologize for that, folks. My sight's starting to betray me. I need to go get some glasses. There's a strike. Count goes to 1-2. So Babcock with that great RBI. And now the Governors immediately respond to the Washington run with one of their own. 1-2 with 2 outs. Boyum trying to get out of this frame. This ball popped up right side. Titi's there. Retreats into the outfield and makes the catch. And that will be out number 3. But the Governors are now on top 10-5. Bridger Babcock with an RBI swing. And the Govs have once again doubled up Washington's scoring. We'll see if the Warriors can respond in 1 minute's time. You're listening to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your health care is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
Welcome back to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons on the call with you. As if you're looking on the YouTube stream, you're looking at a beautiful view of Hyde Stadium here on this Friday evening. Governors on top 10-5 over the Sioux Falls Washington Warriors. Caden Sporer will lead off this frame for Washington. Sporer had 2 hits two RBIs versus Aberdeen back on May 3rd. Sends a chopper right side. Shovelbein there. Throws to first for out number 1. So Carter Shovelbein says, I'm not even going to let you finish your point. Just going to take out Sporer in no time. He got a double his last time up, but not so much this time. Tommy Peterson will head to the plate. Governors trying to make this a quick top of the 5th. Peterson has gotten on with 2 E5s in this game already. Both times mistakes from Parker O'Brien on the left side, and O'Brien kind of getting himself jazzed up and ready to go just in case the ball is coming his way, and it is going to be popped up and fouled. Thought for a second that was headed for O'Brien, but not quite. Count is 0-1. Tommy Peterson working as the right fielder in this game. He's also pitched for Washington this season. And another foul ball. Count goes to 0-2. This is now the 13th time in 2025 that Sioux Falls, Washington has given up 10 runs or more in a game. It's been their biggest issue thus far is their defense/pitching, and it's coming to roost once more. That pitch is low. Count goes to 1-2. This Governor's offense has had a field day in this game, including a 6-run bottom of the third, including a 3-run triple from Carter Shufflebine. Pitch is low, and the count's 2-2. Weston Northrop with just 1 strikeout in this game total so far. They've been hard to come by on this Warriors unit, but he's pitched the whole game and done pretty respectably. A lot of the runs scored have been really just mistakes from the infield. And if you take those out, it's been a pretty clean game overall for the Pierre defense, but there's been a lot of mistakes. 5 total errors for Pierre overall, and they're still up by 5 runs. Here's a ground ball left side. That's going to get through, and it's going to be a base hit. A single for Tommy Peterson, and he's on for the 3rd straight time. So the pixie dust continues for number 8. That will send on Tyler Ringheimer. Runner aboard for Sioux Falls, Washington with 1 away in the top of the 5th. Josh Jacobson and Cash Mowat currently on deck. Mowat will be the first one, number 8 in the order. Ringheimer had a single his last time up. One of the 8 hits that Washington has in this game. Ground ball bounces off of O'Brien again, throws to first, and it's not going to be in time. Another E5 that will send a runner on base for Sioux Falls, Washington. Runners on first and second. O'Brien bobbled it, couldn't catch up to it in time, and that's error number 6 on the Warriors, or rather on the Governors in this game. Cash Mowat, the next man up, and it's just been those simple routine plays that have been so tough for O'Brien and this Governor's infield in this game. That's stuff they would usually make in their sleep, but it's been so hard in this one. Count goes to 0-1. Sometimes you're just having a bad day at the office, and right now O'Brien is having that. A 1 pitch on the way from Northrop. That one comes in high. Count goes to 1-1. And I'm sure even if the Governors do win this game, that Scott Rowie will make sure to address those issues. It's a win, but it may feel like a loss in some ways as well, depending on the result of this one. This ball softly hit towards right and just foul. Boy, that was close. That was just to the right of the right field line. Otherwise, that could have been dangerous. And I'd say that it would have driven in a couple. And you're looking at a 3-run game going into the bottom of the 5th at worst. Instead, it's just away. Mowat with a 1-2. Northrop just trying to get the Governors out of this frame with no damage. So far, he's pitched 4 1/3. Sends in a curveball high. Count goes to 2-2. Washington 1-24 a season ago. Their 1 win was against Pierre. And it's strange when you consider what they did in 2023. That one's fouled off. Count stays at 2-2. They were 13-11 overall. Ended up making it to the quarterfinal in the state tournament. Lost to Brandon Valley 13-8. A Brandon Valley team that would eventually lose to Pierre in the semifinals that season. Governors, of course, going on to win the state championship. This is a liner that gets into right field for a base hit. Beautifully done by Mowat. Simpson has to catch up to it, and the bases are now loaded for the Warriors. Well, we said that Cash Mowat could be dangerous in this spot, and he absolutely was. A 1-out single to load the bases for the Warriors, and that will send on Jack Jacobson, the left fielder. He's also a lefty, which has been tough for Weston Northrop in this game and at some points in this season. this could be the break that the Warriors were looking for. That pitch is outside the zone, a little high. Count goes to 1-0. And again, just one out here. So there's a couple of different ways that Washington could put some runs on the scoreboard, depending on how this at-bat goes. And Northrop's inability to get a strikeout has been tough. And you really don't want to leave this up to the infield either, if you can help it, with the shakiness that they've shown. Not that they can't make plays, but trends would show that it's been a bit of a rough sledding today. Counts 2-1. Right now, the Governors have just got to find a way to take care of business. If you're Jacobson, even a ball into the outfield is going to score a run, so take what you can get. Here's a ball that gets past the diving glove of Getz. A run's going to score, make it 2 as the ball's bobbled by Limbach, and we've all of a sudden got a 3-run game here in the capital city. Or was it just one? Just one. My apologies. Thought a couple runs scored. It was just one. But either way, it's going to be an RBI single for Jack Jacobson. Brecken Beitler heads to the plate. And all of a sudden, it is definitely changed. As Scott Rowie will make his way to the mound. 10 hits for Washington, and Weston Northrop's day looks like it's going to come to an end. So Northrop makes his way back to the dugout. And Washington now with runners at first and third when play resumes. Apologies for that missed call, folks. Thought a couple scored. Eyes deceived me on that one. Brecken Beitler with a single in this game. He's got an E3 as well that's helped him to get on base. Governors with a new pitcher on the mound. We'll confirm who that is in just a second. Looks like that is Porter Hunsley as far as I can tell. It is Porter Hunsley making his way to the mound. He's got a 1.40 ERA this season. 1 save as well for the Governors. And one of those guys that you can put into a jam and have success. So that's what Scott Rowie and the Governors are looking to do here, to see if they can deal with this Washington offensive onslaught. Porter Hunsley, a pretty good batter in his own right. 294 average on the season, 8 runs, 3 RBIs in 12 games played. Not working as a batter in this one, being saved as a pitcher. And now he'll get his chance in the spotlight. Warriors have runners at first and second. Cash Mowat is the man at second. Jack Jacobson at first. Both with singles have gotten on. Brecken Beitler at the plate. It's a 10-6, rather bases loaded for the Warriors. Ringheimer's at third. There's a strike from Hunsley. Count goes to 0-1. All this base running and scoring has gotten my book messed up a little bit. Got it all sorted out now, though. 0-1 pitch. Here's a fly ball into center. Stalley is back, makes the catch. Coming home is Ringheimer. He'll score, and that's going to make it a 3-run game. So an RBI for Brecken Beitler. That will be his first of this one, and the score now is 10-7. Runners at first and second with 2 away for Sioux Falls, Washington. As Dylan Bark will head to the plate for his 4th at-bat. Line went out to third. Had a swinging bunt in his second at-bat and got a single in his last one. Counts 0-1, 3-run game. Washington trying to get some sort of ground against the pitcher Porter Hunsley. That will bring the count to 1-1. Pitch was a little high that time. Hunsley looking for his first strikeout. Mowat at second, Jacobson at first. Here's a ground ball, right to Getz, handles it cleanly, gets it on to second to get the out on Jacobson. And that'll send us to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Washington puts another couple runs on the scoreboard. Governors have got to be careful. We'll see if they can respond in just a moment. You're listening to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Air Incorporated is your locally owned ag chemical and seed retailer. Air Incorporated offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Air for all your ag chemical and seed needs. Kyle 605-280-8710 or Tony 605-280-4771.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
Welcome back to this edition of Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons on the call. Your scoreboard on YouTube is courtesy of the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine Agency. Your Govs on top 10-7 over the Sioux Falls Washington Warriors. And the offense trying to pick up the slack after another couple runs were given up in the top half of the fifth by the Governors defense. And to lead off in this frame, it will be Carter Shufflebine. For his fourth at-bat and his last time up, it was magical. A 3-run triple against these Warriors. This pitch comes in high. Count goes to 1-0. Right now, Washington doing everything they can to stay in this game. Tommy Boyum still on the mound. And the count goes to 1-1. Boyum was subbed in for Sam Sanders. Has given up quite a bit in this game, but head coach Brent Thurlow keeping him out there. And that is going to be a drive into center for a base hit. Carter Shufflebine with his second straight hit. He got a triple last time and a leadoff single this time. And the Governors once again with a man aboard with no outs. That will send on George Sally, the center fielder. Flew one out to center his last time up to score a run. Brought in Shufflebine, as a matter of fact. One of the 6 runs that the Governors scored in the bottom half of the third. The final of the 6 runs, as a matter of fact. Here goes Shufflebine to second, and they got him. Tremendous throw by Caleb Buman, the catcher. And Shufflebine, no, he dropped it. He dropped it. My apologies. I thought the umpire was signaling out, but apparently he dropped it. And Washington arguing that that's not what happened. Bark and Beitler were over there, and Shufflebine's at second. I thought the umpire had waved his hand and signaled out, but either he reversed that call or overruled it one. And now third base coach coming out, or not the third base coach, rather that's head coach Thurlow going out to get an explanation, I believe. That was a very strange sequence. Looked for sure like they would have plenty of time to get Shufflebine at second. And they would have, but apparently the ball came out of the hands of Beitler. It was kind of hard to see over there as to what exactly happened. My view was obscured on this side. I'm sure it was the same for you folks at home. But as far as I could tell, the umpire initially signaled out, and then the ball must have been dropped because he quickly pulled back. And amidst all that confusion, we now have a runner at second with George Sally at home plate with no outs. So counts 1-0. Now that we've got everything cleared up, back to baseball. Boyum keeping an eye on second. Time called. 20 combined hits between these two teams. 10 for Washington, 10 for Pierre. It's been that kind of offensive night. Here it comes. Boyum's pitch is high. Count goes to 2-0. We've seen a lot of odd stuff in this game. Weird plays, odd errors, strange bounces of the ball. It's one of those games where it feels like anything and everything can and will happen. It's Milo Murphy's Law on the baseball field. You can tell what I watched as a kid. This ball popped up into foul ground. Making the catch is the first baseman, Dylan Teedy. And now we have one out here in this bottom half of the fifth.
Number 7, Dawson.
Dawson Getz will make his way to the plate after George Staley pops it out. Getz got a single his last time up. He's gone 2 for 3 today. His lone unsuccessful at-bat was a fly out to right. He's looking for that signature shot right here to send Shufflebine home. He is in scoring position. Instead, he's going to pop this one up. Should be easy for the pitcher. Boyum's got it. 2 away. So Getz, just like that, quickly retired. That sends on Ridge Leimbach. Grounded one out to short in his last at-bat. The cleanup man in the order. Governor's on the verge of going scoreless for the first time since the second inning of this game. And most importantly for the Warriors, keeping it at a 3-run game. Boyum, close eye on second. Fastball is, oh my goodness, going right off of Boyum, going on to first, and not there in time was Leimbach. What a recovery by Tommy Boyum. I have no idea how he, one, located the baseball and how he was okay after that. I guess it bounced off his glove and not his body. But somehow Washington able to get out number 3 in a magical fashion. And we're on to the top of the 6th, folks. Score still 10-7 between the Govs and the Warriors. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Beck Motor Company is proud to sponsor the Pierre Governors baseball team this season. Just like the Governors, we believe in hard work, dedication, and striving for excellence every day. As these young athletes give it their all on the field, Beck Motor Company is here to deliver top-quality Chevy and Cadillac vehicles and unbeatable service. We're committed to supporting our community, and there's no better way to show that than backing our hometown team. Visit Beck Motor Company today and find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle. www.beck-motors.com, 605-224-5912. Go Govs!
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. The wind is picking up here at Hyde Stadium. Your scoreboard courtesy of American Family Insurance, the Brittany Shufflebine Agency. Your Governors up 10-7, but precariously leading the Washington Warriors. Caleb Buman is at the plate for his first at-bat in this late stage of the game. Dylan Teedy, the next man up, 3-4-5 due up in the order. Buman's 4th overall at-bat. First, though, obviously, in the latter part of this game. 1-0 pitch. Buman last time grounded out. Count goes to 2-0, just like that. Porter Hunsley on the mound. He had a pretty solid start as this ball is hit high in the air into center field. Should be easy for Staley, and he's able to make the catch. And that's one down. So good work by Staley to locate that baseball. Dylan Teedy, the next man up, the first baseman. Grounded out to second twice and has a single as well in this game. Teedy also plays catcher on occasion. Fouls this one for an 0-1 count. Almost into the third base coach for Washington. Warriors last year were 0-11 on the road overall. They have reversed that this season for 3 wins on the road. 1-10 at home overall. The last time they came here to Hyde Stadium, Washington lost by scores of 20-12 and 13-8. They have not won here at Hyde Stadium in some time. Count's going to go to 1-1. They'd love to change that, if not in this game, in the next game. Stay tuned for that one after the conclusion of game number 1. That pitch is high. Count goes to 2-1. Warriors again, 4-22 overall on the season. This is going to be a liner right into the glove of Getz. Johnny on the spot, taking care of business. 2 down in the top of the 6th, and good work by Getz. He quickly retires TD. Caden Sporer, the next man up. Sporer working as the center fielder in this game. 1 hit last night versus the Cavs. He's going to get another one right here, right up and over the leaping Dawson Getz. And it is a 2-out single for number 11. So Caden Sporer able to get on to first base with 2 outs and his team down 3 runs. Now we'll see if that lights a fire in this Washington offense. Tommy Peterson to the plate. Porter Hunsley's been doing a pretty good job so far of holding Sioux Falls, Washington at bay. But will that last? That pitch is low. Count goes to 1-0 as Sunshine was just able to locate it. Wind's picking up as well. That's not helping the Governor's defense. Ground ball, hops to Getz, throws to first, and safe at first base somehow is Peterson. It took an odd hop into Getz, and Peterson was able to get to first base because Getz had to wait an extra second to kind of locate the baseball, and all of a sudden, 2 runners aboard for Sioux Falls, Washington. So I believe that's going to be ruled as a hit. Nope, we're going to be calling it an error. So it's an error that puts Peterson aboard. Going to go down as an E6, I believe, as count goes to 0-1. So Peterson at first. Tyler Ringheimer is the man at the plate. And he blasts one up to right. Here comes Simpson, and he makes the catch. So despite the bit of drama we had, the Governor is able to make it out of the top of the 6th with no issue. Score remains 10-7. Governor's up on the Warriors, trying to bring game number 1 to a victory here at home. We'll see if they can add some insurance in 1 minute's time. You're listening to Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth erupt? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
As South Dakota's oldest auto dealer, it's our 118th anniversary. Stop by and sign up for drawings, prizes, beef bucks. You save thousands with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram employee pricing, plus incentives for everyone. Buick GMC incentives up to $6,250. Plus, all of our new vehicles in stock are tariff-free. Check out our huge selection of used vehicles at our 118th anniversary on the windshields and at WagnerAuto.com. Wagner Auto, your one place to go for sales and service, 118 years in Pierre.
Back at Hyde Stadium here for Pure Governors Baseball on KCCR. We've reached the bottom half of the 6th inning. Your Governors on top 10-7 over the Sioux Falls, Washington Warriors. And Pierre trying to close the job. Cooper Terwilliger is at the plate against Tommy Boyum. This ball's fouled almost right. Oh boy, it bounces hard off the roof of the press box. You may have heard it on the broadcast. Count goes to 0-1. Probably just bled some ears out there in the capital city area. Counts 0-1. Pitch is wide. Count goes to 1-1. 21 combined hits between the Warriors and the Governors in this first game. It's been a wild one by all measures, but a fun one. Terwilliger blasts one off into right center field. Houston, we've got liftoff in the bottom half of the 6th. It's Terwilliger with a leadoff single. He's already had a tremendous day with 2 ribbies, and he adds to his collection with that nice shot into right center. And now 11 hits for the Governors in this one, 22 combined. That'll send on Sutton Sunshine. He got a single his last time up. This is his 4th at-bat in total. Taking on Boyum. He's reached every time he's been at the plate in this game so far. Fastball's in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Governors just trying to add some insurance for the top half of the 7th, where they can look to close this one out against the Warriors, who are trying to play spoiler on the Governors' postseason hopes. Throw back to first, not able to get to Williger in time. Of course, the Governors will likely make the postseason regardless, but every single seed point you can get at this juncture in the season is valuable, and that's what the Governors are hoping they can do with a couple wins right here, even if they're to a lesser in some ways. And there's a strike. Count goes to 0-2. Charlie Simpson is on deck. He's been the guy for Pierre in this game, already with 3 total RBIs and looking for more. 0-2 count, no outs. And again, they tried the pickoff at first, and that is not going to work against Terwilliger. He's been just too quick for William to do anything with him. 0-2 count for Sutton Sunshine. And a swing and a miss. And that is Tommy Boyum's first strikeout of this game. So the second total strikeout for the Warriors, and out number 1 in this bottom half of the 6th. And now Simpson comes to the plate. And what a game it's been. You could argue it's been his best of the season overall when you consider the explosiveness that he has had all the way through. And I'm sure he's thinking, why not keep that going? They are really working over Terwilliger right now over at first, trying to see if they can get anything on him. Again, Simpson with 2 RBIs, 2 hits in this game. He sends a chopper left side that's going to bounce its way into left field for a base hit. Simpson on once again with his 3rd hit of the game, 3 singles in 4 at-bats. And things continue to just get better and better for the Governors in this bottom half of the 6th. So now that'll send on J.J. Buchholz, who subbed in for Bridger Babcock at first base. He now comes in as the new hitter for the Governors, number 8 in the order, and he's in a very advantageous position. Runners at first and second, and he's going to show bunt. Lays it down. This may be trouble, and it is. It goes right to the first baseman, Dylan Teedy, and that did not work out the way that Buchholz wanted it to. Popped it right to the first baseman, and that'll send on Parker O'Brien as Buchholz is quickly retired. So 2 away. O'Brien at the plate, runners at first and second. Last chance for the Governors, for now at least, to add on some insurance. Boyum trying to get out of this frame. Blast off into left field for a base hit. This is going to score a run for the Governors if the man can get there in time. He does. The ball gets away from the catcher, and moving on to second in that fray is Parker O'Brien. And the Governors add to their lead, 11-7, on top of Sioux Falls, Washington. Carter Shufflebein will make his way to the plate. O'Brien delivers an RBI single as the throw from left field from Jacobson did not make it in time. Sunshine, or rather Simpson, coming home. And now we'll see a meeting on the mound for Coach Thurlow and the rest of his unit. At this point, I don't know if you pull Thurlow. Probably just trying to get the defense sorted out. Make sure that they don't give up anything worse in this situation. Already down 4 runs and not wanting this deficit to increase by any more. That was a massive hit for Parker O'Brien. To get that RBI single just puts a little bit more distance between yourself and your opponent. It makes it that much tougher for Washington to string something together in this top half of the 7th coming up. So Carter Shufflebein to the plate, maybe trying to deliver the knockout blow. That pitch comes in high, and the count goes to 1-0. Shufflebein with 3 RBIs in this game, all of them coming from a triple that he managed in the bottom half of the third. Pitch from Boyum. And it's outside for ball number 2. Count is 2-0. 11-7. Governors on top of the Warriors. 18 combined runs in this game. It has been a fun one from start to near finish. And now the count's 3-0. All of a sudden, Tommy Boyum in danger of loading the bases for the Governors. And with some really good batters coming up to boot. Shufflebein may be a bit more aggressive with this 3-0 count. We'll see. Nope, he's just going to take it. Pitch is high. It's ball 4. 4-pitch walk for Carter Shufflebein. And he makes his way on to first to load the bases for the Governors. George Stalley, the next man up. George has had somewhat of a tough game so far. Has not managed a hit yet, but he can change that soon. And now we'll see another meeting on the mound for the Warriors. They want to call time, and the ball will be handed over by Tommy Boyum. His day comes to an end as Washington just does not want to risk it with the bases loaded. A tough outing for Boyum, but still showed a lot of resilience in this game. And although it's not the result that he wanted, he'll still have a lot to be proud of. Ends with 3 2/3 innings pitched, 8 earned runs given up, 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. And now we'll see what Washington wants to do. It looks like Tyler Ringheimer is going to take over at the mound. He was the third baseman for Washington, so we'll see how they want to make this work. Ringheimer this season hasn't had as much pitching experience, but does have a little, and it's going to be needed right here. Needs to get 1 out to at least give his Warriors a chance in the top half of the 7th to add some runs onto this 4-run deficit that the Warriors currently face. Right now, the Governors want to deliver the shot that will all but end this one. It is in the hands, or maybe rather the bat, if you will, of George Stalley. Number 4, who's been great all season long, hasn't quite been as explosive offensively today, but his bat has the chance to completely change the tempo of this game. And again, Tyler Ringheimer taking over at third, trying to give his Sioux Falls Washington Warriors their 5th win of the season. So at third base now is Brecken Beitler, who was playing shortstop. And Dylan Bark moves over to shortstop. And Jack Jacobson is now at second. So that's how it stacks up. And these are positions that these guys are very familiar with playing in. They've played really everywhere in the infield thus far this season. Stalley at the plate, watches this pitch come in low. And the count is 1-0. And one thing you don't want to do in this spot is have a pitch go awry if you're Tyler Ringheimer. And it almost does. It bounces straight up in the air, and having to collect it is Buman, able to just get to it in time. But that was risky. And again, that's the thing that you do not want to happen if you're the Warriors right now. Counts 2-0. 11-7 Govs lead. And Ringheimer keeping a close eye at first base. Swing and a miss. Stalley took that one low. Count goes to 2-1. Got a little bit aggressive. Ringheimer made him pay for it. Looking for a strikeout in his first at-bat faced as a pitcher in this game. 2-1 pitch. Low for ball 3. And it looks like he may be in danger of walking Stalley, which would score a run for the Governors and be an RBI for George, his 2nd overall, if Ringheimer can't find the zone. Instead, it's fouled back. Count goes to 3-2. That was a good fastball by Ringheimer, and now it forces George Stalley into a disadvantageous position He's got a payoff pitch coming up. If he strikes out, it's inning over. But if he lets it go, he's got a chance to put in a run. And that's ball 4. So the Governors will indeed bring in a run. Staley credited with his second RBI of the game for forcing the walk. Coming home on that one for the Governors will be Charlie Simpson. Bases remain loaded. Governors on top 12-7 now. It is a 5-run Pierre lead over Sioux Falls, Washington. So it's Parker O'Brien at third, Carter Shufflebine at second, and Staley at first. Dawson Getz at the plate for Pierre. Up by 5. Looking for some more. And Getz sends a fly ball into foul ground in right field. Racing after it is Peterson, and he is not going to be able to catch up to it as it lands over the fence. Moving the count to 1-1 for Getz. Does have a couple singles in this game. Popped one up to the pitcher his last time up. Can he get hit number 14 for the Govs in this game? Not yet. Fastball's in for a strike. Count goes to 1-2. And now Ringheimer just needs one more strike to bring his Warriors to the top of the 7th. Can Getz extend the inning? Make some magic happen. Chopper left side, right to the third baseman. He'll throw on to second to get the out and end the 6th. The Governors do put a run on the scoreboard, though. RBI from George Staley on a bases loaded walk. Governors on top by 5, and they'll have 3 more outs to bring this one home defensively. Warriors will have their last stand coming up next. Back in 1 right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Do have a substitution that we want to go over real quick for Sioux Falls, Washington. Coming up soon will be Kyler White, number 10 for the Warriors. And there he is now. So White will lead off this frame. Pinch hitter for Sioux Falls, Washington. Trying to get something going. He comes in for Cash Mowat. And now it's up to him to get something going for the Warriors in this 0-1 count. Governors still have Porter Hunsley on the mound, trying to fire in some strikes quickly and end this thing. Counts at 1-1. If the Govs can win, they will move to 14-4 in South Dakota play and get win number 15 on the season. And that is a swing and a miss, or maybe just barely a foul by White. Either way, count moves to 1-2. May have just had that one off the barrel of his bat. Either way, it's not going to matter. It's a 1-2 pitch on the way. Hunsley, as that one is driven into left field for a base hit. And that's a good start. Leadoff single for the pinch hitter, Kyler White. So Kyler White able to get the single, give his team just that little bit more of momentum. That will send up Jack Jacobson, the left fielder, with White at first. His team down by 5. Oh my gracious, fouled off and nearly into the man at deck, Brecken Beitler. That just missed his helmet. Thank goodness that nobody got hurt. That one went screaming towards the Washington dugout, and they're going to back away, take a few extra steps, and after that experience, you don't blame them. Jacobson lets this one go by. It's low, and the count goes to 1-1. We will have post-game coverage immediately following the conclusion of this game, so make sure to stay tuned right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. And then soon after that, we'll have game number 2 of this doubleheader between the Govs and the Warriors. Already feels like we've gone through a game and a half in this one, but truth is, we're just getting started tonight. Hunsley with another low pitch. Count goes to 3-1. He's in danger in this spot of potentially putting another runner on base in Jacobson. And all of a sudden, it becomes a bit more uncomfortable for Pierre. Still up by 5, but that's ball 4. So indeed, it is going to be a walk issued by Porter Hunsley. Jacobson on to first, White at second, and Brecken Beitler to the plate. So runs number 8 and 9 are aboard. Run 10 is at the plate right now. And you've got Beitler, one of the best batters on the team. Lets this go by. Count goes to 0-1. Beitler in this game with 1 hit, 1 run, and 4 at-bats. Got a single his first, or rather no, an E3 his first time up to get on base. Got a single in his second at-bat. Counts 1-1 here. Warriors at one point were up over the Governors in this game. 5-4 lead after the top of the third. And this is fouled off by Beitler. Count goes 1-2. Porter Hunsley thus far has not managed to strike out. He could get one right here, but easier said than done on Brecken Beitler. Here's the fastball. It's grounded to third. O'Brien picks it up, gets it on to second. Chance for a double play. They got it. Tremendous double play from the Governors. That'll go down as a 5-6-3-2 retired in the top of the 7th. And a massive, massive jolt of electricity for what's been most of the day a struggling Pierre Governors defense. How about that? At the most crucial moment in the game, they come through in a huge way. First double play, as that is fouled off. Count goes to 0-1. Man at the plate is Dylan Bark. And how fitting that that was Parker O'Brien, who has had a lot of mistakes today, but he kept his composure that time, didn't back away from the moment, handled the ball cleanly, didn't let the emotions or the moment get the best of him. He delivers in a huge way. Scott Rowie is going to take Porter Hunsley out. Going to save him for tomorrow, it looks like. They do have Lincoln coming up, so Hunsley's going to make his way out, and the Governors are going to send on Hudson Stosher. He's been the closer for most of the season, and now he's got a chance to close one more out. He's in a pretty good spot. Runner at third with 2 outs, and the count at 0-1. Facing off against Dylan Bark, who thus far today for Washington has 1 hit in 3 at-bats. Hudson Stosher enters this game with a 2.19 earned run average, 7 strikeouts, a 1-0 record, 2 saves, 7 earned runs given up, and 11 total innings pitched. He has started 1 game this season. That was a 6 2/3 performance against Jefferson in game number 2. That coming a couple weeks ago. And now he's got a chance to close this one out at home against Washington right here. Dylan Bark could be the final batter of the game for Washington. They do have a runner at third. Again, that is Kyler White, who got on with a single to lead things off in the top of the 7th. This game has definitely taken some time compared to past games the Governors have had. We're closing in on 2 hours total. Not quite at that point yet, but getting there. Probably not quite going to reach it outside of a miraculous comeback for Washington in this top half of the 7th. It's in the hands of Dylan Bark, the second baseman for most of the game. Now working as the shortstop, is at the plate with an 0-1 count. Can Hudson Stosher close things out? Fastball lifted to center field. Staley's back. This should end it. It will end it. And that does it. The Pierre Governors find a way to overcome mistakes, tough blows, and a tremendous offensive rally by Sioux Falls, Washington to come away with a 12-7 win at home. The Governors move to 15-5 overall, 14-4 in South Dakota play, and they get a hard-fought win here at home in game number 1 against a feisty, hard-charging Sioux Falls, Washington team. You got to give credit to this Warrior squad. They played with every bit of their heart today, but it just wasn't enough to handle the Pierre Governors. And the great news for us as baseball fans, and the fun stuff for these guys as well, is that they get to play in about 30 more minutes. Second half of the doubleheader will be on the way soon. We're going to take a quick timeout through 2 minutes total. When we come back, we'll have post-game coverage between the Governors and the Warriors right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Back in 2.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakotasprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakotasprinkler.com today.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? You just said no. Listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. The same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
Welcome back to Pierre Governors Baseball on KCCR. Dylan Simmons with you. This is the post-game show of game number 1 between the Govs and the Warriors. And what a sensational game it was. 19 combined runs. Pierre wins by a score of 12-7 here at home. And we'll show you how they did it with our post-game stats. Carter Shufflebein with 3 RBIs in this game, 2 total hits and 1 run. A sensational game for him. He had a massive 2 RBI swing early in the game, added another RBI after the fact. George Sally with a couple RBIs as well. Dawson Getz with 1 run and 2 hits in this game. Ridge Leimbach with 2 hits and 2 runs. Cooper Terwilliger added another couple RBIs with 2 hits and 3 runs total. Sutton Sunshine with 2 hits and 1 run. Charlie Simpson with 2 RBIs, 3 hits and 2 runs, including a massive swing earlier on in the game to right field. Bridger Babcock with 1 hit and 1 RBI. J.J. Buchholz came up empty in his lone at-bat. Parker O'Brien with 1 hit and 1 RBI and 1 run in this game. And by the way, the big play of the game, no doubt, was Carter Shovelbein's 3-run triple that took place in the bottom half of the 3rd. 6 total runs for the Governors in that frame. That is really what turned the tide in the Governors' favor. Washington was on top 4-3 before that incredible bottom of the 3rd. For the Governors pitching, Weston Northrup had 4 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 3 earned runs, 7 total runs, 9 hits, and 1 strikeout. Porter Hunsley with 2 1/3, 3 hits, no earned runs given up, and Hudson Stosher got the final out for the Governors in this one. For Washington, Brecken Beitler, with 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 RBI. Dylan Bark with 1 hit in this game. Caleb Buman with 1 RBI. Dylan Teedy with 1 hit and 1 run. Caden Sporer with 2 hits and 1 run. Tommy Peterson with a great game, 3 hits and 2 runs in this one. Tommy Ringheimer, Tyler Ringheimer, 1 hit and 1 run. Cash Mowat with 1 hit and 1 RBI. And that will do it for the stats outside of Jack Jacobson with 1 RBI, 1 hit, and 1 run, 1 walk issued. For the Warriors pitching, it was Sam Sanders who started things off with the first 2 innings with 2 earned runs and 3 runs given up, 4 total hits. Tommy Boyum with 2 walks, 9 earned runs, 9 runs, and 11 hits given up. He had the meat of this game. And then Tyler Ringheimer with a third of an inning pitched and 1 walk allowed. Governors win by a score of 12-7, and we're just getting started here on this Friday evening. We're going to take a brief break. KCCR News will be coming up in just a little bit. We'll be back in, I'd say, about 20 minutes or so with Pierre Governors Baseball right here on KCCR and the KCCR Sports YouTube channel. Jen will send us to news. We'll take a quick break on the YouTube stream. Make sure to tune in some due time, folks. Your final score from game number 1, Governors 12, Sioux Falls, Washington 7. This has been a presentation of KCCR, Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. We'll see you in a few, folks.
AGE